busy day for you?
Yeah, it is.
Where you go from here? Where's the next stop?
Loudon, New Hampshire. So we have a test day on Wednesday or Thursday, day off on Friday. I don't know who made that schedule, and then the weekend for the race. So,
Danica, let's start. Tell me, you're here in the Motor City, where it's known for cars. I mean, tell me, have you been here before? What are your thoughts on
I have been
Detroit?
here. I came here. Roger Penske asked me if I would come a few years ago when we raced on Belle Isle, and I was happy to come. And I was actually in this very room that we had, big cocktail party and mingled, and so I had come here before. It's a beautiful museum. I was just commenting on, there's so many pretty chandeliers in here, and there's so much about cars and innovation and technology, and so much of what is so relevant in the world these days.
What are some of your best memories of being in the state of Michigan, whether it be on Belle Isle, if you've ever been to MIS? What are some of your favorite racing moments?
I always felt like IndyCar put on an amazing show at the Speedway here. I thought that it was the most exciting race of the year, and I was disappointed to see that come off the schedule, but I was glad to be back last year in the nationwide car. I didn't do great, but I was learning a lot at that point in time, and I've come through to be a little bit better this year. But I've got great memories even from when I raced go-karts in Michigan, and won lots of races here, and actually over on Lake Michigan, Ann Arbor, is that probably the area right there? I raced go-kart there. That was the second track that I raced go-karts at, and so I won a lot of races there. I set a lot of track records, and I remember driving there and stopping at the Big Boy on the way into town every weekend that we went. So I've got a lot of Michigan memories.
And I know you mentioned it in there. You touched on kind of how disappointing it is not to have the Indy on Belle Isle. Can you just elaborate that a little bit?
I know from Mr. Penske's perspective how much work he put into it, and how great of a person he is, and how much he takes pride in obviously the car business and Detroit. And he put a lot of hard work into it. So it was disappointment to not only see that kind of go away, but also then to lose a good race. I really thought it put on a pretty good race, and street courses can be pretty challenging to be a good one, but it was such a challenging circuit that there was lots of yellow flags and lots of things happening and crashes, and I thought it was a really great event. And I'd remembered also it was really fun. There was a concert. Cheap Trick was playing, which I'm from Rockford and they're from Rockford, and so I don't know. It's just good memories of racing on Belle Isle. So maybe IndyCar will come back. Who knows? But it was a disappointment to see it come off the schedule.
And it's Detroit Rock City and the Motor City. I mean, perfect combination, right?
Exactly. We were rocking and we were rolling.
Very cool.
Danica, are you leaning more towards focusing on NASCAR, giving up the IndyCar circuit?
Right now, I'm really focusing on each and every weekend itself. Just got back from Mid-Ohio yesterday, and going to Loudon next weekend, and then Montreal for the Nationwide Series. So I'm focusing on what my job is, and that's to perform in the race car. And it's the rest of the team's job to handle the business side of things. And but at this point in time, we're just working through that, and I'm just doing my job.
Danica, what was your first car that you drove in high school, and what do you remember about it in Detroit?
I had a very Detroit-like car for my first car. I had a Mustang Cobra, and it was very cool. It was very fast, and it was when not everyone had Mustangs, so it was like this cool car. I probably had one of the coolest cars in school, and my dad thought that I needed to learn how to drive a manual transmission for racing, and he also thought that speed would get me out of trouble and not into trouble, which I don't think anyone else in the world has a dad that thought that. But he knew I was going to try and pass people on a two-lane road, so he wanted to make sure that I could get by them and didn't have a head-on collision.
What happened to the car?
The car got sold pretty quickly because I got it when I was 15, and I drove it when I was 16, of course, and maybe when I was 15. And then I moved to England when I was 16, so I moved in the Christmas months. I think I left in January, so I didn't have it for very long, unfortunately. And I was on my I was on my third set of brakes on it and everything like that. We had just put racing brakes on it. We put racing, like, stiffer sway bars in the car. I'm telling you, it was pretty tough to drive in the wintertime, but it was worth it for the summer.
Once you're not in a very Detroit.
Yeah.
Danica, what was your grandmother's name, and when did she pass away?
Her name was Barb Lyman, and she passed away when she was 61, so it was
Was she
about
a
10
fan
years
of
ago.
yours?
Oh yeah, they came out to the races all the time. My grandma and my grandpa. My grandpa's still alive today, and they came out to the races a lot. And no, I have a lot of nice memories. I remember going. They ran a big like retirement home, and they maintained it and kept it. And I remember going there and having to, like, pull the weeds in all of the flower beds that was like 10 levels high up the side. And you know, I'd get paid $1 a bucket or a quarter a bucket probably back then. And you know, she of course did the typical take us for ice cream thing. So you know, I have a lot of good memories of my grandma, but I don't have enough memories of adulthood. And you know, like I said, hearing the stories about my dad, and you know, not like the sheltered 15-year-old stories about your dad, but the real ones. So I'll never know that, but hopefully other people won't have to have that situation.
With your passion for the 500, would it be very difficult to give that up if you decided to go stock car racing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that, you know, no matter what, you know, I'll always love that. I always love that race. So whether it's, if for some reason, you know, I'm in a situation where I can't do it, it would be a disappointment. I would always love to do it. And maybe it'll be part of my schedule in IndyCar. I'm not really sure, but, you know, there's definitely a fondness for that event. Good? Okay. About Mario Andretti and him growing up and how he became who he is. And my husband was like, wait a second, I think I just saw your name across the bottom. So, you know, we rewound it and watched it because that was us learning about the news too. So, you know, I'm not sure where these things come from, but, you know, there have been no decisions made this one.
Do you want to make it quickly?
Oh, thank you.
Make a decision quickly? I'm taking the decision process as it comes. You know, you can't force these things, and you know, these things are complicated and take time, and they're big decisions. And you know, again, I'm just urged to focus on my job, which is driving the car. If I perform the race car, it takes care of a lot of things.